Right now at noon, as the owner of the Portland Ice Building looks to appeal a land use violation issued by the city, protesters are pushing for city leaders to uphold the decision. Plus, with several Oregon counties declaring a drought, Governor Tina Kotek is looking ahead at the 2026 wildfire season. And later, Portland's mayor is expected to make his case for Clackamas County commissioners to approve millions in homelessness funding. Your news at noon starts now. And thank you for joining us here at noon. I'm Tim Gordon. Our top story, protesters are calling on city officials to uphold a land use violation issued against the owner of the Portland Ice Facility. It comes as the city is expected to hear an appeal by the landlord of the property later this afternoon. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz has more.
This has been a hot topic for months after we saw many protests along with the deployment of federal agents outside the ice facility last fall. This morning, protesters demanded the land use violation at the ice facility be upheld and the permit for the building revoked. Portland first issued a violation in September, in part due to public complaints that detainees were being kept at the facility for more than 12 hours. That violates the original 2011 land use review that allows ICE to operate the facility.
We need the city to stand up not only for immigrants, but for the rights of protesters and all people in Portland.
Tenants of apartments around the ice building have also complained of exposure to tear gas munitions, which have been used by federal agents on protesters. Some tenants say they've had repeated difficulty breathing, PTSD, and panic attacks. The landlord of the ice facility previously asked for a review of the land use violation, leading to this appeal today. Another interesting note here, protesters have been pushing for months for the city council to revoke the permit for the ice facility. That's something that city councilors have pushed back on, saying they don't have the authority to do, though the city council has adopted an ordinance to fine detention facilities that disrupt their neighborhoods, places like the ice facility. In downtown Portland, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
And happening right now, Governor Tina Kotek and local leaders in charge of managing wildfire response are giving a look ahead at this year's wildfire season. This is a live look at that briefing just started. The update comes after Oregon saw one of the warmest winters it's had on record, with concerns that a severely reduced snowpack could impact efforts to prevent or fight wildfires. Governor Kotek signed an executive order declaring a drought in 3 eastern Oregon counties back in late March, months earlier than similar declarations in 2024 and 25. On top of that, recent reports from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, predict the warm and dry conditions we've seen so far will continue. Experts say that means the wildfire season could start earlier and be more extreme. Our Joe Ranieri will have more on this year's wildfire season. That's coming up at 4 o'clock. And Chris, conditions for May are already looking pretty dry.
Yeah, they are, and it is important to know, Tim, you know this, you've lived here quite a while. We get dry in the summer, but here's how dry. So this is a pie chart of all the rainfall that Portland gets typically throughout the year, and the lion's share of our rainfall, 82%, falls between October and April, meaning we are historically entering the dry season. May through September represents only 18% of our rainfall. Now, the month of May itself is now starting to look drier and drier. This is the outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, and you can see here that it skews towards below average precipitation for the month of May. Going back to that pie chart, May actually accounts for about 30% of that small 18% sliver. You get the idea. Rainfall in May is important, and any time that we can get meaningful rainfall now into September is good, and I don't see that in the forecast. That said, we have some really nice weather in the forecast after the cloud cover burns off, of course. It's 59 degrees and cloudy, last check at the airport. Clouds, though, already retreating from the mountains. You can see that we had a solid cloud deck here earlier this morning from Timberline. Our visible satellite imagery, again, shows that retreating here. It's taking its sweet time, but it will, and eventually we'll finish our day with some sunshine. So with that in mind, late day clearing and a comfortable daytime high in the low 70s awaits. More on that in your full forecast in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Chris. We'll see you then. Developing this afternoon, we're learning more about a Clark County physician accused of child sex abuse. And a warning, there are some disturbing details in this story, including references to suicide. Our Catherine Cook has more.
This house in La Center is where pediatrician Dr. Michael Wilmington lived, a house where Vancouver police say Wilmington hosted naked sleepovers and sexually abused at least one child known to him. Police are also looking for a second child, one of Wilmington's patients, whom they believe attended one of his sleepovers. According to court documents, Wilmington worked at Kaiser Salmon Creek in Vancouver. On Friday, police issued a warrant for Wilmington's arrest on child molestation charges. On Saturday, police found Wilmington dead of an apparent suicide. According to Kaiser Permanente, officers told them about accusations against Wilmington on April 30th. Kaiser says they fired him immediately and are cooperating with police. The allegations in this matter are serious, said a Kaiser spokesperson, and our primary concern is for our patients, their families, and our workforce. Police say Wilmington was friends with another suspect in this case, Chad Hartley, a physician's assistant who worked at this Peace Health Medical Clinic in Vancouver. Last week, police arrested Hartley on molestation and child pornography charges. They pulled several online images of him as evidence in the case. Police say Hartley had just left work at the clinic and was walking home to the Fisher's Mill apartments when they arrested him. Court documents show Hartley and Wilmington met through the nudist community.
That was Catherine Cook reporting. Hartley is expected to appear in court in Clark County this afternoon at 1:30. Investigators are also asking any parents whose children may have had unsupervised contact with either Wilmington or Hartley to call their local police department. And a reminder, if you or someone you know is a survivor of sexual assault and needs someone to talk to, the National Sexual Assault Hotline is available 24/7 at the number on your screen. That's 800-656-4673. The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office has identified the man who died while doing maintenance on a chairlift at Mount Hood Ski Bowl. They say 29-year-old Gregory Hunter of Government Camp died Thursday morning when a maintenance basket he was working in plummeted to the ground. An online memorial page describes Hunter as full of adventure, someone who loved all kinds of outdoor activities, from rock climbing to whitewater rafting. OSHA says it has opened a workplace death investigation. Another employee also in that basket fell and was hurt but survived. Well, right now, Portland City Council is holding a work session to discuss Mayor Keith Wilson's budget proposal, which includes cuts to the Portland Fire Bureau. The work session includes testimony from the fire chief about the proposed cuts. And this morning, members of the Portland Firefighters Association gathered outside Portland City Hall to protest the proposed budget. The association says the number of fire trucks and firefighters on duty at night could be eliminated or reduced.
So for us, that means we're coming from farther away. And even though we train every day when seconds count, we're going to be coming from farther away. There's no amount of training that will make up for that distance.
And a reminder that nothing in the mayor's proposal is set in stone yet, and council still has several weeks of deliberations before they settle on a final budget. Councilors will adopt that budget on June 17th. And later today, Mayor Wilson is scheduled to appear in front of Clackamas County Commissioners after they denied a request earlier this month to help fund homeless shelters within city limits. Back in March, the mayor requested $4 million from Clackamas County and $6 million from Washington County to help pay for 4 homeless shelters and 2 day centers in the city of Portland. He called them emergency resources for the entire region, not just the city. It comes as Portland must fill a $163 million budget shortfall, but leaders in both neighboring counties rejected the mayor's ask last month, with Clackamas County Chair Craig Roberts saying this.
So right now, I see it as a big challenge of giving that money to the city of Portland, but I'm also open to having a conversation about what we can do regionally.
The mayor's presentation scheduled for 1:30 this afternoon.